Hi everybody, welcome back to the Academic Convenience Store where you can find fun, fast, and functional facts. Thank you so much for stopping by with me today, and I ask if you could please like, share, subscribe to the channel. And so today, as mentioned in the previous video, we're looking to expand the Academic Convenience Store to talk and cover other subject areas. And so welcome to So What's the Science? Today we will be looking at and covering atoms and molecules, as you can see, and as I channel my inner Vanna White. Just kidding. But seriously, today's topic will be on atoms and molecules. So what exactly are atoms and molecules? Well, the answer to that will be, it starts off with matter. They're basically the building blocks to matter. M-A-T-T-E-R. Matter are the things, or is the things that surround us in our physical world. It's everything that we see, that we could touch, that we can feel in the physical realm. So like your house, your car, your toys, the food and items that you eat or drink, our bodies, all this consists of matter. And so for these physical elements to take place, it all starts off with atoms and molecules. So for example, if you were to take something like water and break it down to its smallest drop, and you end up with just one molecule, well, that one molecule will basically consist of atoms. So if you break apart the molecule, you no longer have water. You'll just have atoms like floating around. So that's what we'll be talking about today, is how these atoms and these molecules really are the foundation for our physical world. And so I want to have you take a look at this periodic table of elements, which is a chart that scientists have put together to just identify and classify the various elements that are made up of these atoms. This particular chart is color coded to identify the solid, the liquids, and the gases. And so on this chart, you have your yellow elements are your solids, your blue are your liquids, your gas would be the green. And so, for example, we just mentioned the things all around us, within our house, within our bodies. And so what would be an example of a liquid element will be, like I just said, water. An example of a gas would be the oxygen that we breathe in. And then an example of a solid might be something like sodium. And so these are this chart. So there's probably about 120, give or take, known classified elements in our physical world. And so when you put these elements together, you put these atoms start to bond together, that's where you get the molecules. So like the physical structure of these various items. And so, for example, we mentioned water, which is one of the most common molecules that we often reference water as H2O. Okay. And so water molecule, here's an image of that. There you have, 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen. And so the H stands for hydrogen. And then it's followed by a small letter 2. That's after the H to show you that there are 2 hydrogen atoms. And then the O stands for oxygen. It has no number after it because that's a sign to tell us that there's only 1 oxygen atom. In the case of hydrogen peroxide consists of 2 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. So as you can see, 2 hydrogen, but here there's 2 oxygen. So this is an example of hydrogen peroxide. And so this is the stuff that, dentists often say, rinse your mouth out. You can clean your gums. If you're bleeding, if you got a scratch on your arm or leg, you can pour some hydrogen peroxide on there to help sanitize the area. And so one molecular difference, one difference here. If you notice that there are 2 hydrogen atoms in water, there are 2 hydrogen atoms in hydrogen peroxide. The only difference is that there's only 1 oxygen atom, but there are 2 oxygen atoms in hydrogen peroxide. And so with that small 1 atom difference, you have a completely different item. Like, you're not going to drink hydrogen peroxide all day. You know, you're not going to go for a run and say, hand me some H2O2. You're not going to do that. And most folks will not even know what that is. But you will say, I need some H2O, right? So 2 different items, 2 different resources on the earth that are made up of just 1 slightly different atom is involved. The molecular structure totally changes. So that is very interesting notion with how the atoms can create these unique items. And so, for example, it's just like the alphabet. You know, in the English language, we have 26 letters in the alphabet, and they all represent different sounds, but we come up with millions of words. People write books, people write passages. You know, millions of words are made with only 26 letters, really. And so that's similar to atoms and molecules, is that even though you have only about 120 known elements, millions of items are made from those elements. And so I have here as well some more items that may represent matter: the table that these items are sitting on, the floor that the table is standing on, the candies, and the potato chips. And so what I also have is an example of how you can actually make your own molecule structures with just basic things around your home. And so, again, to bring the hands of science into the house, you don't always have to go buy items. You can look around and you'd be surprised how many basic tools you may have to build and design your own molecule. So this is an example of an oxygen molecule. You've got, a water molecule. You've got your 2 hydrogens and your 1 oxygen, and they're bonded together. And so this is basically a lemon, some toothpicks, and some candy that was around the house. And so people use many different things. I've seen people use Play-Doh, popsicle sticks. You can draw the image. So there's many different ways you can kind of build and make the science hands-on. And so these are things that we don't see with the naked eye, but this is actually this is what, if you were to put this water under a microscope, you could see the molecular structure will be shaped similar to this. And so that's all I have for you all tonight. I hope that you enjoyed the So What's the Science segment. I will be bringing more of these topics to you in addition to the math. So I want to say thank you for stopping by. I hope that you received something of value and that you can put, some knowledge into your back pocket. Thank you once again, and I can't wait to see you next time.